This video will give you some quick insight into what proficiency-based personalized learning by learning objective will be like in Algebra 2 this year. The classroom is made up of many flex learning spaces. Individual desks have been brought together in groups of 3 or 4 for whole group class instruction. There's various collaborative spaces, some with dining tables and 4 chairs, some high-top tables with bar stools, and other groups of 2. There are also individual spaces where students can get comfortable and work. There's lap desks, comfy chairs, and a large beanbag. At the beginning of the course, students will identify their learning style to help them better learn. They'll be designated either auditory, visual, or tactile. At the beginning of every chapter, students will be given a packet, which includes the blank note template and all of the homework for the chapter. They will then reference the Schoology website, in which they will use the resources here to do the majority of their learning. The curriculum for every chapter is set up in a very similar fashion. Students will first assess what they know by taking a pre-quiz by learning objective. If they get a learning objective correct in the pre-quiz, then they do not have to take notes or do the daily homework for that individual objective. However, if they were not proficient on a learning objective, then they will go ahead and do their learning by taking their notes and doing their daily work. Once they're done with their formal learning, they will take a formal quiz. This is also by learning objective and is very similar to the pre-quiz. If they miss any learning objectives on the formal quiz, they have one opportunity to retake the quiz for the objectives missed. The similar process is then repeated for the next sections until they finish all of the chapter work. The chapter then ends with a review and a chapter test. For any learning objectives students were not proficient on in the pre-quiz, they will then start their formal learning. They have 3 options for taking notes. They can either wait for whole group instruction for when the topic comes up, or they can click on a PDF document of the particular section, which will pull up the book notes for them. They would then get their note packet out, read the text accordingly, and complete their notes. Or a third option is they can watch a video by learning objective. If you click on the link, it'll bring you to YouTube, get out your note packet, and complete your notes accordingly. After the notes, you want to do your daily work. You can go into the note packet and see a hard copy of those. After you've done the work, you want to submit your answers on Schoology by going to the green puzzle piece for the learning objective. Schoology will kick back either red or green boxes if you're correct. If you meet a 60% proficiency on that learning objective, then you can move on to the next one. If you don't make the 60%, then you have 2 more tries to become proficient, until you get locked out. At this time, you'll want to get some intervention and seek out the teacher for additional help, or you can click on the extra practice problems here, which will bring you to this documentation. Try those problems, click here for the solutions. Once you've done your intervention, see the teacher, the quiz will be unlocked, and you can submit your homework one more time. Now, if you are proficient after the first try, you still have the ability to submit your homework 2 more times to earn up to 100%. All quizzes and tests are retakeable 1 time. For any questions on a formal quiz in which you did not earn a check mark, you can retake that learning objective 1 time on a second quiz. To prepare for that, seek out the teacher for extra help or try the extra practice problems. Chapter tests are also retakeable. To prepare for a retake, you must schedule a one-on-one meeting to go over your exam with the math para or the teacher. Some chapters will also have a retake video of the teacher going over the old exam. It is highly recommended, if this is available, that you watch it also. Once the test is returned, students have 2 complete weeks to retake the exam within school hours. The grading is broken down as 20% formative, which includes the daily homework which is done on Schoology, in addition to a note check at the end of each chapter, which is graded on completion of the notes. The other 80% is summative, which will be graded on the formal quizzes, chapter tests, and projects when we have them. Formal quizzes and chapter tests are retakeable up to 1 time each. At the beginning of every chapter note packet, students will find a proficiency tracker. Students should be using the tracker to indicate when they learned various learning objectives, how they took their notes, and to make any comments they needed as they worked on any intervention to help them learn the material better. This class is designed to help enhance personalized learning, which means if students want to work ahead at any point in time, they are encouraged to do so, but not required. It is highly encouraged students advocate for themselves and ask for help when it is needed. There are many sources to help them in their learning, but they are the first step in a successful process.